Well, born in Iran, grew up in Sydney, and now you live in America. And you've been published through Wakefield Press, which is a South Australian publisher. So can you tell us a bit more about that process of getting published and what that was like being sort of so international with it?
Yeah, I mean, for me, the process of getting published, the biggest thing was writing the book and like making sure that I was writing it and making time to get the words on paper. And the other big thing for me, and I will be honest about this, was this book is like draft, I think 12. This book went through 12 rewrites. And I just want to be really honest about that because I remember when before I was published, I would pick up a book and be like, oh my God, this is so good. I'm never going to. And that's like a 20th draft, not a first draft. So I think for me, the biggest key to being published was giving myself permission to rewrite the book over and over again and giving it the time and space that it needed to do it. And then finally having the courage to also be like, okay, it's good enough now to send to an agent. And then it's good enough now to send to a publisher. And then once it was there, to acknowledge that it was going to be rewritten all over again as well. So I think that was the biggest key for me.
And did you have people around you that was reading it reading the the first, second, third drafts to say, it's not quite there yet?
Absolutely. I had an amazing virtual writers group where we had one Zoom meeting together, and then every 2 weeks we would send each other chapters, and they were phenomenal in giving me feedback and pointers and just encouragement to keep going. I also did the 6 month So You Want to Write a Novel course from the Australian Writers Centre online. And that was incredible as well. Getting that feedback and that community workshop, and also just those community resources, were really useful in honing my voice, seeing what was working with the plot and what wasn't, and really just pulling it together.
Excellent. And do you have any tips for writing that you'd share?
If something strikes you as interesting, follow it. Like for me, my favorite character in the book is Mitra. And Mitra came about because I love the video clip of MIA's Bad Girls. And I just couldn't get that video clip out of my mind. And I was like, what would this person be like if they were just your best friend? And that's how Mitra came about. So I think my tip is if there's something that sticks with you, trust that and go with it, because that's when the really special things come out.
Yeah, excellent. That's a great tip. And so you mentioned you wrote as part of the online course. So was this something, I mean, I'm always interested in sort of writing processes as well, whether writers, say, oh, I have to start at 9:01 in the morning, or I need to eat Tic Tacs while I'm writing. Are there any rituals that you use when you're writing?
No, mine was just write when you can. I was writing this with a full-time job and 2 kids under 3. So it was literally any moment I had to write, I would write. And that was great motivation, because when you know that you might have like 20 minutes until the end of a nap, or you have like an hour on a plane, it was a great time to write. So having those kinds of enforced deadlines were really good for me to focus.
Excellent. And I had a chat with Sophie Gonzalez a few weeks ago, who has, she's an Australian writer, but has chosen to set her books in American schools. And I guess I wondered, why did you decide to set it in Australia when you live in America now? What was the decision behind that?
It felt important. It was also I was writing from what I knew. And I have a deep love of the places I wrote about. I really loved Sydney University, and I really loved the university experience in Australia. And it feels quite different to what happens here in the US. So I wanted to write something that felt authentic. And I also love Newtown. Like I have a love affair with that part of Sydney. So I wanted to write about a place that I had such passion for, and try to also give people, especially young people, a little bit of a taste of the uni experience. Because I think, especially through the end of high school, you spend so much time being like, I'm working towards uni, or I'm trying to get to this mythical place. And I wanted to write something that was like, this is what the awesome parts of it are like, and this is what the not so great parts of it can be like sometimes. Um, and to kind of give people a window into that as well.
Mm.